Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Venus RX. It's Lacey. This is where I talk about topics that are on my mind right now. Very into the supernatural and the esoteric, but I just moved to the Netherlands from New York City, the Bronx, and I'm transitioning right now into, I was talking about getting my DAFT visa for American citizenships. And I wanted to touch on topics like dating in the Netherlands, what to expect. I haven't dated yet. I have been flirted with. I guess I've talked to people. I've been saying that, oh no, I'm just visiting because I didn't want to get too caught up before like I get all of my paperwork filled out and I'm living in an apartment, having a more permanent place to stay here after I get my paperwork. Not that I couldn't stay and just keep paying rent in the same place, but I wanted to also visit a few cities to see where I might like to live. I'm kind of really loving it in the southern part of like the Netherlands where I was before. I'm in love with Roermond. It felt like Halloween town and it was so quiet and just so calm. I just really enjoyed wandering around through the woods and the lake and the not the lakes, the rivers. It was a few lakes and just like it was just beautiful and serene there. Um, I did have small conversations. I never let the flirting get too far because, number one, I got to figure out birth control here. I got to figure out what STDs are like here. This is a different country. They might have STDs I never heard of. Um, and then culturally, like, how does it work? Like, they say, like, sex in New York is like a handshake. I disagree, not really. There's not a lot of much of acceptance as you think it would be, like for hooking up, even if you did hook up with particular cultures, really aren't accepting of people who do that. And you might get some backlash there. I feel like, especially living in a place like the Bronx, the first thing I was told when I moved into the building where I used to live, which was in Melrose, the Bronx, which is funny because I always say I don't mess with those crusties. They don't look crusties. A lot of them look good. They're black Hispanic men, but I had three women in my building say, "Don't mess with the men around here." Blah 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 blah, because they look good. Even they'll say even the Habibs look good in Melrose, being like the store owners, the all of them, But a lot of them are. You'll come to find out involved in dealing, gang banging, and all types of ish. Like, oh my gosh, like I dated two guys in the Bronx, and they both had overly, even if like I'm like, you appear so normal, but they like one of them got his legs beat up and they broke his leg. Another one got sliced up like on some other ish. I'm like, and that's junk is really scary. I'm not about that thug life at all. So of course they were undateable. My dating life in New York was like mostly online and networking to try to like I didn't even have much of a dating life. My dating life was like incorporating with my work life there because like I said, they were like, don't mess with the guys around here, mommy, like like they would always say go to Manhattan, you're gonna go to Manhattan and get a guy, and always would say a white guy too, and I thought that joke was so funny. I'm like, why would they attribute that? And then I'm like, nah, I could see why. Like they were like, before I went to New York, my ex that I was 22 when I went to New York. Like I was like, but this is a long time. I was about to tell my age, but hey, yeah, either way, my ex has said by the time you leave New York, you're gonna be a feminist and you're not even gonna like black guys. I'm like, why would they say that? I've had three people say that. I'm like, yo, yes. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, this is where like hip hop misogyny culture began. I felt like outside of I've discussed Chicago and then Muslims, the Muslim and black mixing, and what effect that had on misogyny and the way women are viewed and culturally. But I'm like, before I even give out my number, I'm like, I gotta see like and understand how the Dutch really work here. So and then I was going to talk about the red light district. But let's read into this. Direct it says the Netherlands because I asked Grok. I said, "What is dating life like in the Netherlands compared to the United States?" Directness and honesty. Dutch culture is known for its directness, which extends to dating. People tend to be straightforward about their intentions, whether they're seeking a casual fling or a serious relationship. Small talk is less common, and Dutch daters often get to the point quickly, which can feel refreshing or blunt depending on perspective. Me, I don't know if I felt much directness. Like, I guess, like, well, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. How to explain that because I don't speak English. But okay, we got casual. I mean, because I don't speak English, so I don't speak Dutch. So I've had like small conversations here and there where mostly they've asked me regular things like, "Where are you from?" And then that's when I say here, and then they're like, "Oh, are you going to be living here?" And I'm like, "I'm not going to be living here." Blah blah. And then that's when it kind of like fizzles out. But I am going to be living here, so I've just been like like I guess I use body language, push people away. Dating in the Netherlands is often informal. First dates might involve meeting for coffee or a drink at a cafe rather than elaborate dinners. The Dutch emphasize equality, so splitting the bill going Dutch is standard. Even early in dating, gender roles are less rigid, with both men and women comfortable initiating dates. Oh, great. So this means I can ask people out. Hey, you want to go out with me? Here we got biking culture. The Netherlands bike centric lifestyle influences dating. It's common for dates to involve cycling together to a destination like a park or canal side spot. So, or a canal side spot, which adds a relaxed, active vibe. Yeah, it's so many nice canal side spots. I've been taking myself on canal dates since I got here and just walking around the water. I'm like, I need to take my shoes off because I haven't seen any like pollution in the land too. That's another thing. I haven't seen no cans, no garbage, like no crackheads, like just like a bunch of beautiful lambs. I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, I love it. I'm like, I can't leave. I'm gonna learn Dutch and stay here. I don't. Even though I'm like, I like the idea of being spoiled. Going Dutch, it seems like it would make more sense here if there truly is a lot of acceptance of about women and dating here. Because in America, I feel like there's a lot of slut shaming, like and a lot of degrading. So that kind of adds into why men are expected to even pay the full bill and a rent because you sleeping with a guy just means so much in America, and they worry a lot about body count this and how many guys and even how a past guy treated you. I get to treat you if your past guy treated you that way, I'm gonna treat you 10 times as worse. And then you're also seen to blame for like abusive relationships you go through in America. Like as a girl here, they'll see you as to blame, you know. And then I guess I'm not gonna lie, I feel like maybe they don't see abusive relationships for men at all. There is no equality because we can see that when it comes to women, women get victim blamed for their abusive relationships. Men don't really get seen at all. Like, when it comes to abusive relationships, I guess everybody is seen as supposed to be able to avoid those things. Um, but it got to be more understanding for those who are like taken advantage of. But and yeah, let me read some more of this. Slower pace to commitment. Dutch daters often take their time before defining relationships. Casual dating or seeing each other can last longer before becoming exclusive, and there's less pressure to rush into labels like boyfriend or girlfriend here. Yeah, in America, there's definitely pressure to rush into those labels because some people they get judged. You get judged if you sleep with somebody before you have that label going, or like they call it a situation ship. It's like like they, even if it's not a label, they put a label on it. Like they have to put a label on everybody. Everybody wants to know how somebody is being viewed. You're just a side piece. You're a situation ship. That's my, I don't know, hookup partner. That's, you guys can't just be two people who like each other. Like, it's never that vibe. It's always such a negative, heavy vibe in America. Like, I hated dating there. Like, everything about it. You're like, like, and then I'm like, I guess it's more pressure on men, but it's men too now because of the amount of pressure put on women. Like everything you do, say, think, it's like, under a microscope. It doesn't feel as fun. I'm like, that's uh, outside of the crime and wanting to feel safe. I actually didn't even look into the Dutch dating life here. I was like, wait, what? It's less street harassment, less crime, and then just how beautiful it is. It's just, I always wanted to live in the Netherlands because of the rivers and because of them having boats instead of like a lot of main streets. I'm like, oh gosh, they got like rivers as streets, like like in, I think they have that in Venice in Italy. I got to go and book my boat tour and then ride around on the boat and whatnot. Casual dating or seeing each other can last longer before becoming exclusive, and there's less pressure to rush into labels like boyfriend or girlfriend. Dating apps and social circles, apps like Tinder, Bumble, and local platform like Lexa, oh, Lexa are popular, especially in cities like Amsterdam. However, many Dutch people meet partners through friends, work, or social clubs, reflecting a preference for organic connections. Oh, or social clubs. They got social clubs here. I always tell people that on my tarot reading channel, join social clubs, events, and then network and date and meet people that way here. Um, for organic connections. We got urban versus royal divide. Okay, yeah, okay. All right, let's see, because I was feeling the vibe in Roar Mount. Now I'm in a more populated city. In cities like Amsterdam, Utrecht, or Rotterdam, the dating scene is vibrant, international, and diverse due to expat communities. In rural areas, dating can be more traditional with stronger emphasis on local social networks. Yeah, okay. It felt more like, oh goodness, like I would have to, like, it felt ironically enough in Rural Mound, like more safe to talk to somebody outside and I could probably see this person again. And then we could, like, it felt like, like I was wandering around as a child, but as an adult, and I seen so many other adults wandering around outside or walking, exercising, wandering around. Why would I say exercising? I was just wandering around. I gotta get these calories down because I put on extra weight. I feel like due to a lot of stuff that happened in New York City, I just didn't want to be outside anymore. I'm like, it's just, oh gosh. I'm like, and the Bronx area, like I said, I could just feel that. And me being a sensitive person, an empathetic person, I'm like the sadness of people, like, I don't know, passing away and like, just, oh my goodness. Basically, the crime rate just rose out of nowhere. Like, it was like, get out. Everything in my surroundings was screaming, get out. It was somebody got stabbed on 138th Street. a little boy in my building got stabbed, and the school was right across from me. Somebody pulled out a knife on a cop when they were. It was just like, and then they tried to do break-ins in my area. They were posing as maintenance men, and all of this is in a not even a mile radius, like a 1 point, like all with the surrounding streets around me. Like that just feel like the crime was within arm's reach. It felt like a hot point there. Like I'm like, it's hot, hot. I'm like, this is like, no, I'm out. Um, but there it felt so, calm and whatnot. This still feels really calm, but it does feel a little bit more diverse. I see more people here. It hasn't been bad. In cities like somebody did ask me for my number. One of the people in a grocery stores with stronger emphasis on local social network, cultural and rural divide. Okay, okay, let's see, cultural openness. The Netherlands is progressive with liberal attitudes towards sexuality and relationships. Casual hookups are generally destigmatized. There's openness to diverse relationship structures, including polyamory or open relationships. Okay, I didn't know that. They got polyamory and open relationships here. I'm like, I should know that because they got prostitution is also legal here. I'm gonna read about that. Then here is a reason here. Los Angeles, fast-paced, act-driven scenes, while smaller towns mainly into traditional courtships. Often dating involves structured dates. Here, men. Yeah, okay, let's read a little bit about the United States. The US is vast, so dating varies by region, culture, and demographic. Urban areas like New York or Los Angeles have fast paced, app driven scenes, while smaller towns may lean towards traditional courtships through community or family introductions. Yeah, I was from a small town and then I moved to New York, so this is true. Okay. Romantic gestures and formality. American dating often involves more structured date scenarios like dinner and a movie, especially early on. Men may be expected to plan or pay for dates in some contexts, though this is shifting towards equality, especially among younger generations. Dating apps dominate like Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, OkCupid, or Central Modern US dating, particularly for millennials, Gen Z. Online dating is a primary way to meet, with 30% of US adults reporting having used a dating app like Pew Research 2020. Faster emotional investment. Americans may express feelings or define relationships, AG exclusive or official, earlier than Dutch daters. There's often a cultural emphasis on romantic milestones like meeting family or celebrating anniversaries. Cultural influence. American dating is shaped by diverse cultures, religion, community, ethnic groups, or urban voice versus rural. For example, dating in conservative areas may involve stronger expectations of traditional gender roles or marriage focused relationships. Hookup culture. Casual dating and hookups are common, particularly in college settings or urban areas, but there's a counter current of people seeking serious relationships early, influenced by cultural narratives around finding the one. The car-centric culture of US means dates often involve driving, which can make logistics more complex than the Netherlands' compact, bike-friendly setup. Long distances in some regions can also limit spontaneous meetups. Okay, yeah. Okay, this seems better though. I don't know. Communication style. Let's read into the red light district though and what the prostitution laws are here and what life might be like as a ex-worker. Okay, prostitution laws in the Netherlands here. Prostitution is legal and regulated in the Netherlands, a policy established in 2000 to reduce exploitation, improve working conditions, and combat human trafficking. Key aspects of the laws include age and permit. Sex workers must be at least 18, though some municipalities, including Amsterdam, require a minimum age of 21. They must register with the Netherlands Chamber of Commerce, KVK, as self-employed professionals and obtain a permit to operate legally. You could get, maybe you could do self-employed prostitute too. I didn't even think of that too. Maybe I not to give anybody some money. You might be able to work, but we're gonna see how much they get paid, because I was talking about the DAF, and I did self-employed as like a psychic tarot reader, content creator, and making nail sets, artist, all of those things. Like check, choop. I'm like, so we could chop it up good for me. Maybe get me lots of tax reductions if we can, because they got a lot of stuff there. I'm like, okay, because I'm like, if I read that right as an artist, I might be supposed to be getting some Netherlands art. What fun. Like, wait, how does that work? Like, I'm supposed to get some sort of, either way. Like how they be doing in America, I want every business tax reduction, funding, anything I could get here. Um, Sex workers are subject to mandatory health checks, and brothels must comply with strict health and safety standards, including panic buttons and CCTV in window brothels. Forced prostitution, human trafficking, or employing minors are criminal offenses. Clients must be 18 or older here. What was that? Non-EU workers need a valid residence permit with freelance work permitted status, to obtain and operate legally. So if you're not born here, you need a freelance work permit. Red Light District, De Wallen, Amsterdam's largest red light district. De Wallen is a hub for legal window prostitution, with around 100 window brothels. Sex workers rent windows from operators and work independently, negotiating prices and services directly with clients. The district is heavily policed, and photography of sex worker is strictly prohibited to protect their privacy. Opting in arrangement. Sex workers can opt for an opting in system, an intermediate form between self-employment and employment, where operators withhold payroll, taxes, and premiums. This requires settlement agreement with the tax administration. Municipality variation. Some cities like Amsterdam's are tightening regulations, such as relocating sex work to an erotic center to reduce over tourism. Window prostitution is legal only in specific cities: Amsterdam, The Hague, and Alkmaar. Street prostitution is restricted to designated streetwalker districts in Groningen. I don't even know how to pronounce these cities. Oh my God, I need to study my Dutch. Arnhem and Nijmegen. Oh gosh, oh my gosh. I need my Duolingo back. Challenges. Despite legalizations, issues like stigma, high window rent, like 90 to 150 euros per 8-hour shift, and human trafficking persists. A 2017 Amsterdam court ruling struck down a policy requiring interviewers for sex workers, citing discrimination against Eastern European workers. Eastern European workers. I wonder what Eastern European is. Earnings vary widely based on location, hours, and clients' volume. On average, sex workers earn approximately 1,000 per week. Though this includes both documented and undocumented workers. Undocumented sex workers earn about 900 per month, often without legal protections. Oh gosh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's not worth it. Even 1,000 a week isn't really worth it. That's like I make more than that as a term reader. Red light district specifics. Well, if that's something you're interested in, if you ever want to try it out just to see how it is, uh, especially since they're not allowed to record